ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì wojire ilẹ̀ iyì ilẹ̀ ẹ̀yà lèkìtì ṣe Oyèbánjí mọ̀ túbọ̀ yìnbíyọ̀ sílẹ̀ kámúbàrún olèkìtì ayé mi ń jẹ́ jùyà. Èkìtì lọ́mọ olúṣù àrògùrò bẹ̀wọ̀ ọmọ olóṣè méjì takọ́tabo. Ìgbélárugẹ ó jẹ́ àgbẹ̀dàgbàsókè lóríkò. Èkìtì ní alára ọgbà ẹ̀dá òye. Ìṣèjọba kan dára ògbáyé gbádùn ara wò. Èkìtì ní alára ọgbà ẹ̀dá òye. Ìgbélárugẹ àṣà àti ìṣe àtúnṣe bí ìgbafẹ́. Èkìtì ní alára ọgbà ẹ̀dá òye.
A warm welcome to you out there. This is Ekiti on the move. My name is Tunji Saliu. When a policy is deliberate, targeted and wrapped in the toga of humanity, the resultant effect or impact is predictable. Success. Such is the story of inclusive governance under the leadership of Governor Biodun Oyebanji and its overall turnaround in the lives of people living with disability in the state. A story of cradle to adulthood where no one is left behind and no one is dismissed unattended. This episode of Ekiti on the Move takes you through the entire spectrum of a new lease of life for PWDs. It is worth watching. Before then, our news highlight, quick takes. In focus this week, inclusion beyond tokenism, the Ekiti model.
Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì wojire ilẹ̀ iyì ilẹ̀ ẹ̀yà lèkìtì ṣe Oyèbánjí mọ̀ túbọ̀ yìnbíyọ̀ sílẹ̀ kámúbàrún olèkìtì ayé mi ń jẹ́ jùyà. Èkìtì lọ́mọ olúṣù àrògùrò bẹ̀wọ̀ ọmọ olóṣè méjì takọ́tabo. Ìgbélárugẹ ó jẹ́ àgbẹ̀dàgbàsókè lóríkò. Èkìtì ní alára ọgbà ẹ̀dá òye. Ìṣèjọba kan dára ògbáyé gbádùn ara wò. Èkìtì ní alára ọgbà ẹ̀dá òye. Ìgbélárugẹ àṣà àti ìṣe àtúnṣe bí ìgbafẹ́. Èkìtì ní alára ọgbà ẹ̀dá òye. Èkìtì ní alára.
What does real inclusion look like? It is not found in grand gestures. It is found in the quiet dignity of a morning routine in Ekiti State. This is inclusion. Inclusion beyond tokenism. It navigates these streets not as a symbol, but as a civil servant. His journey to this office was paved not with sympathy, but with merit. It is a journey that almost didn't happen until one man insisted on a level playing field. Governor Biodun Oyebanji.
I think we must acknowledge the unprecedented role of His Excellency, Governor Biodun Oyebanji, to the people living with disabilities. I think in the history of the state, we've seen the most investments in that area as far as public service is concerned. Speaking specifically about the appointment of Mr. Ayodimeji for the two selection of accounting officers process that I have seen, what we do is come one, come all. It's all inclusive, irrespective of your status. So as long as we know that he has fulfilled the prerequisites in the civil service, he's free to compete. And for the particular exam I brought in Mr. Ayoni as an accounting officer. We had, I think, 3 of them. One was visually impaired. Mr. Oni had his own impairment, and the third person. So they needed 3, different devices. The one that was visually impaired needed a braille laptop to write the exam, and Mr. Oni used the regular laptop because it was a competitive exams. So we were very impressed to see that they both could see through the exam and put in their best, and the results were made public to all of them. So he qualified for the first stage and he came into the second stage. Of course, we are growing, and so we also needed the panelists to be able to, listen to him very well. We brought in audio devices to help to help interpret what he was saying to some of the panelists. So it was quite an educative and very involving, but very satisfying process. And I must thank His Excellency for funding and accepting that we go through that process. So we're really very excited to have him come out as one of those who succeeded in that program.
One of the first files he attended to was the file of a person with disability who walked into my office and said, I want to become an admin in the civil service. I was like, admin? So how do you become an admin in the civil service? He explained, and we said, okay, have you passed the exam? That's the ASCOM exam. Have you passed? He said, yes. Have you done the interview? Yes, I've had 2 interviews. Did you pass? I don't know. Okay, let me check for you. So we had to go check and realize he did well enough. But the caveat is they're just taking 20 admins across the state at that time. And then we had to look at it that, okay, if he's done well, we need to present his case to His Excellency. And because there's this 5% slots that's usually the disability community is given, when it comes to certain things. And we presented his matter to His Excellency, and His Excellency asked his HOD to write about him, and his HOD was able to give a very good brief about him. Then he became an admin. That singular act, touched the hearts of the disability community. It gave them hope that if they do well like their counterparts, they have the same opportunities, that they are equal opportunities like every other person within the civil service. And so that took us to thinking about, okay, how is it possible? Is it possible for a person with disability to also aspire to a consolidated role like, the executive secretary with the permanent secretary? And while we're thinking about that, we had several conversations, and we're like, even though we're saying, we would have loved somebody, an ES in the Disability Affairs Office, and, we went on having a lot of conversations, and we're like, this is inclusion. If it's inclusion, why can't you be a PS or an ES in an area where you've been functioning very well so that you can continue to thrive in that area? And we had to look into the system. Unfortunately for us, the last time exams were written, a person with disability wrote the exam. I'm talking about somebody that has identified as a person with disability in Ekiti State. Wrote the exam, passed the exam, went for the interview, passed the interview, and he was highly recommended for the job. And today he's an executive secretary in the office of the AG.
When opportunities arose, some suggested making it easier for persons with disabilities. Separate tests, automatic concessions, but the governor refused. He insisted that to work alongside everyone else, they must prove their capability on the same terms. That insistence on equal standards is why 39 PWDs now serve in the State Civil Service, 7 hold strategic leadership roles, and 1 now serves as an executive secretary at the Ekiti State Data Centre.
I have 1 visually impaired personnel who joined the admin cadre very recently. I know that on the boards, on some political boards, we have not less than 7 or 8 persons who are people living with disabilities who are holding appointed position on boards as special assistants. Now we have Mr. Ayoni as an accounting officer. So you can see that the numbers are swelling. And I can boldly say that this is probably one of the highest we've had in the history of Ekiti State.
I want to be ready to study computer science. On completion of my NYSC, I was able to get letter of award, national award. So, by that, I got automatic employment into Ekiti State Civil Service. During the regime of Simba Ni Adebayo, I wrote to him directly and he approved that I be appointed into the civil service automatically. That was how I started my civil service journey.
Yes, Mr. Oni has been a wonderful man, a dedicated leader that every one of us will enjoy working with him. In fact, I've been under him since my appointment years back. In fact, there was a time I told him, I said, please, Oga, in case they want to transfer you out, you can work my transfer too, because I don't want to leave him. He has been a wonderful man, and every one of us, we enjoy working with him.
I knew him since I joined the service. He's an intelligent man, very honest, and very hardworking. And we can also say he's a tutor. He likes putting people through what he feels they ought to know on the job. He is not only good on the job, he's good in sports. There's nothing you ask him in sports, football, that you least think he knows about. Very versatile, very knowledgeable. In fact, when you sit him down and tell you things about history, you will marvel at things he knows. We are blessed to have him in our midst.
With my appointment, the administration of His Excellency Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, the governor of Ekiti State, has made it. Why? Because this is the first time a person with disability will be appointed to this post. It's well commendable. The people in our community, the PWD, they are very happy and appreciative of this gesture. Everybody is happy. So I want to use this opportunity to thank it. Everybody very, very well. Like we do well for the PWD.
It is a testament that in Ekiti, inclusion is about trust and institutionalized change. Along the Adoiworoko Road, the Center for Disabilities Affairs is a hub of productivity. Here, 100 PWDs are on an 8-month vocational journey. This is not a charity. It is an industry. In the workshops, sewing machines there, the air filled with the aroma of fresh meals, hands mold leather into shoes, and fingers navigate computers with confidence.
The vision of the governor is that he doesn't want anybody to be seeing persons with disability from the prism or from the lenses of charity. That inclusion shouldn't be about tokenism. That if you really want to empower these people, you should go beyond giving them rice, giving them beans and all of that. That's after the beans, after the rice, what would they fall back on? So the vision of the governor is for them to give them how to catch fish, not giving them fish. So the essence of the training is to stir up the vocational aspiration of persons with disability in Ekiti State, to reduce unemployment among persons with disability in the state, and to promote the entrepreneurial skill among persons with disability in the state. Because before the advent of this training, there is a stereotype out there that a person with disability cannot operate computer, a person with disability cannot learn one skill or the other, cannot learn how to cook, or cannot learn how to sew clothes, how to fixed shoes and all of that. But if you come to this center today, anybody that comes to this center, you will be wowed by what a person with disability can do. So, and that's the story. In the last 3 years, we've trained almost 120 persons with disability in 5 vocational skills. And the vocational skills are, the number one, ICT. We have ear making and cosmetology. We have shoe making. We have tailoring and fashion designing. And we also have catering and hotel and management. So we've trained 120 in the last 3 years in 5 vocational department that I mentioned earlier. So this year we've added another 1 to 8, which is soap making. So we are training 100 persons with disability in 6 vocational trades now. So, and at the end of their training, the training is going to last for 5 months. At the end of the 5 months, they will go on IT for them to have a practical skill, for them to have in all this 5 training outside the center. So then after the industrial training, they will now invite them for empowerment in their chosen vocational skills. Then after that, we are still going to give them trade test, or popularly known as a proficiency certificate. We are still going to give them that. So, and in the course of the training, the government of Governor Power is giving them 25,000 naira allowance. Competent instructor were hired for them to train them in all the 6 skills vocational trade. This is the ICT department, whereby the trainees are being taught on different computer skills like graphics, like healthcare, and all of that. So here we have 20 trainees in this department.
Here we have some VI that they cannot see the screen, and they have an speech assisting device on this PC, such that even if they cannot see the screen, they'll be able to hear what they are doing, and that will redirect them to help them to know what they are doing and what we are teaching others to, so that they will never lag behind the class. So I believe that after this class, our trainees here, they can stand on their own in the job market.
The common notion in people's mind is that a blind person cannot actually do anything with a computer. But with technology advancements, that has been proven wrong. With the assistance of a speech assistive device, popularly known as JOS, a visually impaired person can do anything virtually on the personal computer. So that is what has been assisting me in this training so far. The computer we are using has the speech assistive device on it. So whenever we are operating the computer, we hear whatever we are pressing. So that's how we've been able to be coping so far. I want to be able to do businesses online, even without having a shop. I want to venture into online businesses and all that stuff. And I know with the kits that will be given me here, and with other support from other people, I'll be able to do some things with the stuff that will be given me here.
This is hairdressing department, and I have 8 students now that I'm training.
This department have 22 students with me. What we want to make today is chocolate bread.
Màmá tọ́lọ́run fún fún wa, ó jẹ́ ẹni tí Ọlọ́run fún ní ọgbọ́n. Wọ́n dẹ̀ fi orí ọ̀fẹ́ yẹn, wọ́n àti ẹ̀ wò pé a ní ìpèníjà ojú. Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ṣà ń kọ́ wa àtọkọ sí àdẹ̀dúpẹ́ náà lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Pẹ̀lú condition wa, à ń kó pẹ̀lú wọn.
Gbogbo àwọn bàtà wọ̀nyí, eléyìí mo fi eléyìí ṣe example, bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo wọn náà rí bá ṣe ṣe. Ṣùgbọ́n eléyìí mo dúró báyìí mò ń pè fún wọn ni, ó yá ìwọ nǹkan báyìí, ẹ̀yin gúrùpù báyìí eléyìí ni kẹ́ ṣe, ẹ̀yin gúrùpù báyìí eléyìí ni kẹ́ ṣe, ẹ̀yin gúrùpù báyìí eléyìí ni kẹ́ ṣe. So wọ́n wá gúrùpù ara wọn, wọ́n wá ń ṣe. So èmi náà wọ́n ṣe wọn tó bá ti débi tó ti le pé ọ̀gá kìíní kò yé wa, mo máa sọ pé ó yá bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ṣe nìyí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ṣe nìyí. So that is how we came about this.
We started from Iro and Buba. Then after that, we moved to our basic body, of which, by God's grace, we are proceeding to different style. But we can say specifically here now that we can cut skirts, long skirts, both long skirts and short skirts. Then we also have our gemapa, of which we are drafting out here. Then we also have our straight gown, both long and short. Then we've treated our princess dart, Then our princess court as well, we've treated it here. So we're in our revision weeks. You know, when we have teaching stuff, so we proceed to our revision week. We are in revision weeks now.
I am here in this department training how to make shoe. I will thank the governor for his support with people with disability, for making it possible to learn here. We are here as people with disability, and many of us are learning in different departments. I'm learning shoe. Some people that even don't have knowledge on how to make shoe before. When we came here, our boss asked us, which place do you know you have problem before? So he started with the easiest part and started showing us simple examples so that we can be able to improve ourselves. From there, we were able to improve more. I just started training here. Before, I don't have idea. I started training here January, and now I have more idea. And in this training, it has involved me to know more. And I know the training is ending by May, and I know before that May, I will be able to have more knowledge. And I believe as ability in disability.
The program is 5 months of training, then 3 months of industrial attachment. Trainings far away get free hostel accommodation. Every trainee receives a 25,000 naira monthly stipend, removing financial worry so that they can focus entirely on learning.
We are intentional about how we empower them. We ensure everything they need to start up this business right at the comfort of their homes is given to them. So they have their sewing machines, they have all the design thing, the button, what they can use to make button, even the mannequin that they will put whatever they've sewn is given to them. The materials that they can use to start sewing is given to them, you know. So they can start from the comfort of their home. They don't need a shop to start.
The goal is to reintegrate them as contributors, not dependents. But empowerment begins in childhood. Ekiti State became the first in Nigeria to dismantle the barriers to care for families of children with severe disabilities.
Me coming here, it is a privilege for me to be here. So I think after these 5 months, if I live here, I will become a better person by putting my work into practice. So I think I will be a better person and to also raise up my child properly. Well, I would like to say to the governor a very big appreciation for the opportunity he has given to me as a mother with a child that has a disability. Indeed, it's an honor and a privilege to be here. So I'm saying a very big thank you to him once again.
At the Free Public Therapy Center, the atmosphere is one of healing. A free school bus brings children for their sessions. Every service, physiotherapy, occupational, speech therapy, is completely free. No mother should have to choose between feeding a family and giving a child a chance to walk or speak.
It's a sector that has been neglected because people believe that they don't have voices, they cannot vote. You know, so nobody played their course. 3 schools in Ekiti State that cater for people with special needs. The first thing we did is to do a comprehensive renovation of all the structure. And personally, I put down my personal money to buy beds, to buy beddings, and I make it an habit of also celebrating my birthday with them. So from the proceeds of my birthday every year, they were able to develop the place, you know. And then I give them a bus, Central Bank Village give them another bus. So the one in Ado attends to those that cannot go to those schools. So every morning, the bus will go around and bring them to the place. We give them 1 meal per day. We attend to them. And you can see the kind of life-changing improvement that is happening across the state.
Inclusion is also the right to compete. At the government special school in Ekiti, a student with a disability entered a statewide drawing competition against students from mainstream schools. He didn't just participate, he won. He went on to represent Ekiti at the national level, finishing 4th in the entire country. As the sun sets, the executive secretary packs up his desk. He moves towards the door, his head held high. He drives home through streets now bathing in orange green. His day was long, filled with meetings and progress. It was, in every sense, the day of a public servant. This is the face of human capital development. A life lived with dignity. In Ekiti State, under Governor Biodun Oyebanji, inclusion is not a peripheral program. It is the central story of governance. From free therapy to civil service appointments, from vocational training to athletic excellence, the state is building a future where no one is left behind. Because here, truly, no one is left behind.
It is not too difficult to see when a government is paying more than a cursory attention to a policy, program, or project. This indeed is a recommendable model in inclusive governance, a true testament to the mantra of leaving no one behind. Remember, you got it first from Ekiti. That's the program this week. Join us again for a fresh episode next week. Meanwhile, you can watch this episode again and as well the previous ones on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. See you next time. Goodbye.
ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì wojire ilẹ̀ yìí ilẹ̀ ẹ̀yà lèkìtì ṣe Oyèbánjí mọ̀ tó bóyin gbìyànjú sílẹ̀ kámúbàrún olèkìtì ayélujára jùyà.